This is Quest of Life. We are a not-for-profit offering free online peer support groups, and this is a demonstration of a facilitated group. So keep in mind that your experience might not look and or feel the same as this streaming group. Not every group can be the same, as every facilitator is different, and so are the group dynamics. That said, if you'd like to join a support group, you can join us through questoflife.org. And if you want to support us monetarily so we can run more free groups for more people, please also do that via our website, questoflife.org.
I have started streaming. So, how is
Hello?
everybody? For the third time.
Who wants to start?
You want me to pick?
Yeah,
Or-
go for it.
Hmm. Hmm. Tom, I choose you.
Of course.
Get wrecked. That's
Okay.
what you get.
So my week was pretty good. Because I kind of took a week off from uni work. Yeah, like after the group report that we had to do the week before, I was just spent, and I spent like so many. Like I just worked through so many nights. This week, my brain just went like, we're not doing anything at all, and just catching up on sleep. That part didn't really work out because I still can't really fall asleep at a reasonable hour. But other than that, it's been good. And topic-wise, I would be interested in talking about the thing that came up at the end of last week's session, where, like, I have this pattern where if people start to get close, it feels nice at first, but then very quickly I get overwhelmed and kind of want to back off. Yeah. Anne?
Okay. I had a better week. Yeah, I think moving here solved a lot of problems I had before. Uh, yeah, so I've been feeling pretty good. What else? I had no, yeah, topic wise, also, yeah, interested in what was said last week at the end. So, yep. Pam?
Yes. Hmm. I am feeling slow, I would say. Like, it takes a lot of time to think for me. My week has been I guess I could call it mundane. I didn't think that a lot had happened, so I guess I feel a little bored. um, and at the same time, I'm still stressed about finding a job and looking for one. Um, so it's like it's a feeling of slow and steady, and bored, but at the same time, low key stressed for finding a job. Um, hmm, yeah, I think topic-wise, I would like to talk about. Hmm, I guess connection and relationships, because I still struggle with that. I find myself still struggle to reach out to people, even though I know they're there. Yeah, that was a funny sentence, but yeah, even though I know they are there. Yeah, I will send it to Marsh.
It's been every week I say this. It's been a busy week. I think there's a lot of context to busy for me, not just busy like in terms of work. I think there's a lot of thoughts and feelings and things I contemplate about every week. And especially this week, I think there's a lot that I've been thinking over. Um, uh, I guess for topic, it would be my topic would be probably something related to what's what's people's meaning of existence would be. That would be an interesting topic, I think, for me personally to know about other people. And yeah, I think that's my topic. But I am also very interested in Tom's topic as well. I'll pass it to, I guess, Jake, if you would like to do one.
The first half of the week was awful. Thing happened at work. It caused a lot of stress. And then after thing got finished, I was still like in that state of like what is it? Dread. Yeah. I was still in like leftovers of dread and stress. So from like probably last Friday to Wednesday, I was in that state. And then after that happened, everything else throughout the week was good, I think. And then, yeah, that's pretty much my week. I would say from the topic, I don't have a topic. From the topics listed, I would actually be interested in the relationship stuff.
I am open to my topic, but I also think Tom's is interesting. So I am leaning more toward Tom's topic. If, yeah.
Cool. Any objections or not objections, but indifferent
Opinions?
something that is not objection? Okay. I realized it would be difficult to respond to that saying I object. I don't want to talk about that stuff.
I guess Tom could if he wanted to.
I'm okay with that. I would be really interested in Marsh's topic as well, but I worry that at least my answer to that is too complicated to talk about on stream. Like maybe rather in another setting.
I'm open to taking that topic another day as well. Like, I'm also open if Marsh wants to do it on stream, but I'd prefer to take your topic today.
No objection.
No objection, Your Honor.
Rad. Tom, what's that called? I'm trying to play into the court thing. I don't remember. What's your topic, Tom? What do you want to talk about?
Yeah, it's basically just that pattern where, like, I know people who want to be closer, also wanted to in the past, and it always feels good at first, and I get really excited, and then there's a point where it's like, okay, this is too much, and then I feel like I need to pull back quite a bit. And also related to like what we talked about last time, there's also a thing I noticed where I feel a stronger pull to like want to spend time with people who aren't actually available. And with people who do want to spend time with me, it's like there's some kind of protective thing going on where I do care about them, but I also like tend to maintain some distance.
Do you know what distance you're trying to create? Like what you're trying to create distance from?
I think expectations.
Any specific kind of expectations?
I think how much time we're spending together is definitely part of it. I think it sort of feels like when I'm feeling good overall, and when I meet new people, it's really fun to hang out all the time. And then it feels like that sets an expectation, and then I'm not able to keep that up. Maybe that's part of it. Or another thing is like a lot of the time people want more as time goes on. And I often feel like I sort of get left behind, or like it doesn't happen for me at that same pace.
That sounds like how when you start hanging out with someone, it's going really fast because it's really exciting, but that pace is not sustainable for you long term.
Yeah. And also sometimes I start a new project or do something else that's really exciting, and then I kind of forget about people for a while. And then it feels kind of like a chore to show up at all. Unless they're also interested in that thing and we can work on it together. Like, that would be the best case scenario if I had that shared interest with someone. But sometimes there's just a phase where I have a few weeks or even months when all I want to do is work on something that's not necessarily compatible with everyone in my life. And it's really hard to find a balance. And people don't like the inconsistency, which I think like makes sense. But
I can totally relate. I feel like there's times I just want to lock in and do certain things I'm interested in or urgent to me personally. And if I decided to say yes to another person's like hanging out request, then it feels like I'm going back to appeasing their agenda instead of mine. And it's hard to like find a balance between theirs and mine.
You said people like consistency. I was thinking that I also see myself as not reliable because I can't be consistent. But then I got a little conflicted because now I believe that nothing can be consistent. Things change, people have different things going on. It's hard to, unless it's on your calendar, like this stream. Every week it's on the calendar, then, yeah.
yeah, I mean, like in that sense, scheduling regular times to hang out with specific people kind of works best for me. But even there, sometimes that becomes overwhelming in the long run. Like, if I have a phase where, especially if other things are going on that are stressful or difficult or overwhelming, I don't actually feel like reaching out to people. And it just feels like extra work.
Yeah, it shifted from like, let's hang out and I enjoy this. I want to do this as well to let's do this for them. Let's hang out for them because we scheduled the time and I'm supposed to commit to this.
Yeah. But also because like I do want to stay in touch with that person. Like, I don't want to do the thing where I disappear for 6 months and then I don't know, it doesn't feel like that's okay to do.
Do you think it is or not?
I think it depends. Like, for people that I'm quite close with, it doesn't feel okay. If it's more like acquaintances or like we occasionally do something or like we're working on a specific project, then it kind of makes sense and it feels more okay. But
What
with
makes
people,
it?
yeah,
Yeah, what makes it not okay for close people?
that's where it feels like there are expectations, and I don't know what exactly they are. And I've talked to people about this, and they say there are no expectations, and I can't stop feeling like there are. Because it clearly bothers them if, like, I'm more distant.
Can you share more? Like how it clearly bothers them?
Well, we talk about that as like it's a problem to solve.
Because then they imply that this is a problem and they would like you to be more consistent. So
Yeah.
let's work on that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or like if I'm going through stuff, then I should come to them for support. Like, we don't have to do the usual thing. They can help, but like we should still maintain the connection.
My
Like-
question then is, I wonder why you don't go to them for support in the first place.
I think I do up to a point. And there's also another thing where like the more I'm struggling, the harder it is to reach out to people. And there's a point where actually I don't want company at all. Like, I actually prefer just being alone. And that's where like I would now no longer force myself to show up. But that's also where it then creates problems, potentially. Like, it sort of feels like it's my job to make the other person feel connected. And they don't mind whether it's because I, like, let them support me and they can feel connected through that, or, like, we do something and they feel connected through that. But, like, I have to provide connection.
But yeah, it's like for them, right? In the sense of, I need support. Well, I need to like figure my things out. Then I can't do that because if I do that, then the other person won't feel supported. So I'll let the other person support me in order for me to support them.
Yeah. But also, like, if it feels like that expectation isn't there, then it can actually still feel helpful to show up or, like, even let people support me. And I don't know what's actually different about that. Like, in some sense, when I'm struggling more, it's easier to hang out with new people than people I already trust and I'm close with, because it feels like there are no expectations with new people.
kind of curious what Jake is thinking. He's nodding very aggressively.
I mean, that just makes sense. Because like your relationships with people are very, or the longer you are connected with someone, it seems like the more of a role you start going into. And if you interact with a new person, there's no like expectation of a role. So you have like the baseline safety and it's just like who you actually are is treated with a lot more respect when you're in a new relationship. It's like more acceptable.
Yeah. Yeah, like they're just finding out who I am instead of wanting me to be what I was when I felt better.
Yeah.
And even if like I see the good intentions, but that sense of like someone wants to make me feel better feels really uncomfortable.
When you say that, is it something specific you're thinking about? Whenever someone wants you to feel better.
That Yeah, I definitely have a few like specific situations in mind. Hmm. Just thinking about. I don't want to talk about anyone who like might watch this. Or like who I'm still.
Maybe a fictional character then.
Yeah. Maybe someone from like a while back. Like I mean, like with my ex, there were definitely a lot of conversations towards the end of the relationship where she really wanted me to. Well, she really wanted to help, but it felt like the point of that was so that we could hang out more and have fun more. And it was just, it sort of felt like I really need to hurry up and feel better so that she could feel more connected in the relationship.
It sounds to me like she wanted to help because she would gain something from it in the end. Like it was not to help you. Like it could be both, but it sounds like she wanted to help because then something would happen.
That's how it felt, and I don't know whether it was actually like the reason for wanting to help. Like I think she probably genuinely wanted to help too, but both things were definitely going on at the same time. Like her needs weren't being met in their relationship, and I think it's also pretty fair and valid because by that point I was kind of avoiding her quite a lot because every time we hung out within half an hour we'd be talking about like how can we spend more time together. And then that felt like more pressure, so it was a kind of I would try to do more, but then that turned into like, oh, this isn't enough. Which would then make me work more, so I'd have a valid excuse for like not being available.
I have been on both ends. But yeah, it just feels like I have to justify the reasons why I can't be available. So then it sounds okay enough for this person to back off. Or if this person doesn't back off, then it's like more on them than me. And I think it's just so difficult to just say no and feel like, hey, I don't want to. And that to be valid enough.
Yeah. Also because sometimes if I did say no, the other person will interpret that as like I don't want to be friends anymore, or like I don't like there's more stuff going on, and then I have to either I don't have to, but then I could just leave them with those assumptions and feelings, but yeah, it sort of feels like I should clarify that, like, no, I still care about them, and then I need to convince them that, like, it's not about them, and that's more work again.
What do you mean by more work? Like, it makes sense to me, but I also know that it can be very specific for, like, person to person what that entails.
Well, it's like I'm saying stuff which is true, but I'm saying it to manage their emotions.
Hmm.
And because I know what to say, or like if I share what's actually going on, I know that will make them feel better. It feels like if I decide not to, or like I can't be bothered, then that makes me a bad person.
So I'm curious because I have also been on both ends. But to me, when like I guess I tend to over explain a lot. So to me it's not work. To me I see it as communicating to the other person where I'm at so they know my state of mind. But from what I'm hearing for you, it's another layer to take into account when addressing a situation.
Yeah, I think it really depends on the situation, and it also depends on how much reassurance a person needs to actually feel okay. Like I would generally, if I'm saying no to something, especially if I'm doing it kind of consistently all of a sudden, I would explain that like there's something else going on and I just don't have the capacity to meet up, but like there's nothing else going on or there's nothing wrong between us. But sometimes that's not enough. Like people will still feel like I don't want to be friends anymore, or maybe I didn't like them in the first place. And they're like, I could say more to reassure them, but that's where it starts feeling like if it's one off, actually, it's fine. But if it's a reoccurring thing, that's where it starts to feel draining. And if I'm already struggling, then I don't necessarily have the extra capacity to do that. And that's where
Mm.
I start avoiding.
I'm getting curious, like, it makes sense to me that if you feel you have tried and you have communicated and it's not helping, that somehow the only way would be to, okay, I've tried all I could and now there's not much I can see I can do, so you would avoid it. Um, I guess my question is so my question would be, what is it you're avoiding, or do you recognize what I'm saying?
What is it am I avoiding? Um, I guess having to sit with their discomfort without doing anything because then I feel guilty, or having to do the work to make them feel better, which I don't have the capacity for. It's kind of, it feels like a lose-lose situation if I show up. And it's even worse if they actively want to talk about it, like in that relationship, where I would literally have to go like, I don't want to talk about this, and I would have to be quite, um, like, persistent with setting that boundary. And it's also hard to know, like, I don't know what conversation I'm sort of signing myself up for if we're just starting. Like, I don't know if it's going to be a quick 5 minute, like, hey, can I ask a question? Or if it's going to turn into a 2 hour discussion, which also makes it hard to know. Like, usually. The other thing is, I often don't feel things until hours later, so I don't necessarily realize how drained I am in the moment, but I feel it afterwards, which also makes it hard to know in the moment that, like, okay, I need to pause this.
Feels like your brain is working as intended. Like avoiding is the solution.
I guess, yeah.
Like a the solution.
It does solve things.
Because from what you said, it's like you don't really have control over how you would feel if you have that conversation. So the most optimized solution is to avoid it, so to not have it.
Yeah, but even then I end up feeling guilty.
What about?
That I'm not staying in touch with people enough. Or that I'm hanging out with, like, people I've just met instead of, like, someone I've been friends with for years.
As in, you owe people your time if you are close?
Yeah.
How do you feel about that?
Mm, I feel like it's kind of true. Like, if I'm close to someone and then if we don't spend as much time together or, like, at all for an extended period of time, I think we will drift apart. And I don't necessarily want that to happen. Like, it would be okay if I didn't care about that part.
I'm thinking of how that's not true for me. Probably because I have experience with like my best friend from middle school. And after we no longer went to school together, we would meet like once a year, sometimes like every other year. And it didn't feel like we drifted apart at all. It just felt like we were still very close. So that doesn't feel true to me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't think I've had that
By the way,
experience.
Tom, feeling kind of true is not a feeling. So what feeling is it?
I don't know if I have feelings about that. Frustrated would make sense, but I don't think I feel frustrated. Um, what else makes sense? Maybe kind of stuck and powerless, but also it feels like I've kind of accepted it, which makes it not feel powerless. Or like that doesn't matter.
So there's an acceptance that close relationship would inevitably lead to the point of you feeling trapped, suffocated, and like powerless.
It feels like it, yeah.
And it makes sense why you don't want to get close to people then, because like that's the consequences of close relationships. There's like responsibility and stuff.
Yeah. But also,
So
I
it's
do
better
get
to be
close to
independent.
people, but then it kind of inevitably plays out in this way where it kind of falls apart. Or not necessarily like completely falls apart, but like the other person will feel disappointed or frustrated, or like the excitement that they pick up from me initially. It's like, I don't know, based on like how I behave initially, people will have expectations, and then I don't live up to them.
Yeah. So what happens there for you?
At which
If
point,
someone expects something of you, or if they feel like frustrated or disappointed in you, how does that land?
yeah, then I feel guilty, like I'm not a good enough friend and I should be doing more. But I also don't necessarily want to at that point, and I get overwhelmed, and then that's where I distance myself because I don't know what else to do. Or like we might talk about it, and then people will insist that like no, they don't actually have any expectations. It's fine, but it doesn't feel like that.
How did you learn that it was your responsibility if people expect something of you?
Mm, maybe being autistic and trying to follow random social norms. And just like copying what other people do and trying to follow the rules.
It's really unfair.
Yeah, I don't get why people do these random things.
Yeah, it feels like other people are unreliable, which makes you unreliable, which then makes them unreliable.
How are other people unreliable?
Um, because they have anxious feelings and they have needs and wants, which makes them unreliable because you can't ask them for support without it turning into something they need.
Mm-hmm.
So then, okay, fine, I will be relied upon and I'll provide more and more and more and more. And then at some point, I become unreliable
Mm-hmm.
because I cannot consistently show up in the same manner. And then after I don't show up consistently, they start to be inconsistent as well. And then the relationship kind of becomes more ruptured as both party becomes unreliable.
Yeah. Yeah, that fits. And sometimes it works initially. Like if they support me, it does work and it does feel good. But then there are also times where um so usually where it starts falling apart is if I don't feel good being supported. And if they feel like the support's not landing, then they get uncomfortable and then I feel like I have to help them in return.
Yeah, there's this thing here around caretaking that I don't
Mm-hmm.
know what's going on there, but that definitely feels like an important component too.
Yeah, like other people's needs matter more than my own.
Or like you said, if they feel discomfort, then you'd have to fix that.
Yeah.
Like you can't sit with that.
Yeah, I think that's kind of what I did growing up in our family. Like, I knew what to say to make people feel better.
What happens if you don't caretake?
Then I feel guilty. I think, like, that's the consequence I'm actually trying to avoid. Because I know what I could do that would help, and then I'm choosing not to. It sort of feels like I'm deliberately withholding help.
Like I'm hearing you say you feel guilty and feel like you're withholding um action towards helping. But at the same time it does not make sense to me because it also sounds like if you need support in a situation, then why are you feeling guilty for not helping people that was supposed to help you?
Yeah, because it feels like I only get help once everyone else is okay. Like, other people struggling matters more, and they need to get priority.
How did you learn that?
Yeah, I think it's just a billion tiny examples where other people got priority. I think partly because I often look more okay on the outside than I actually feel on the inside. Like,
Mm-hmm.
growing up, my default states when I wasn't at home, like whether it was school or just like out, I don't know if we went to the shop or anything, like my baseline anxiety was really high, and I just learned how to look fine, feeling super anxious. So that's like one example of it. So I might be freaking out on the inside, but people wouldn't be able to tell. And so then if there's another kid who's like maybe struggling a little bit or a little bit upset, they get help right away. And so, like, I guess to me that's how the world functions. Like,
Like, I don't know how to put it into words, but you also said you're like, so I'm assuming that you know it's a defense mechanism, like
yeah,
putting on, yeah. So the question becomes, what if you drop that defense?
I don't know how.
Fair?
I think it's hard because the moment you are looking like you're drowning, other people would try to help you, but then they actually accidentally pull you down more.
Yep.
So then acting okay is actually more okay. It's just anxiety, the one that you're holding. But the moment other people try to help, it's responsibility, shame, and guilt on top of everything you're holding already.
Yeah, and also sometimes it catches people off guard how much, like, what they see and what they think they're getting into when they try to help isn't actually proportional to what they actually get. And then they don't know how to navigate that.
Yeah, I have two thoughts actually. Um, the first one is, I think because you have a high tolerance, it it means people see you and you're like doing good. So I actually uh, thought about people are impressed actually when that happens. They don't give you empathy. They're just like, oh wow, yeah, Tom's got this.
Yeah.
Good job. I can go take care of other things. So high tolerance actually leads to less empathy, which is interesting. Um, the second thing is because you're like very uh, like you're already dealing with a lot. When it gets overwhelming, it isn't the same level of overwhelming that people are usually uh, familiar with. So
Yeah, for me it's
you're
like,
not just like sinking. There's like bricks.
yeah, it's like fine, 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 and then I'm at the bottom of the ocean.
Yeah, because you're not actually fine most of the time.
Yeah.
You're just like this is tolerable. I can deal with this.
Yeah, but I would call that fine, I guess. um, but yeah, it's exactly that. So it goes from, like, functional and okay to 0. And I guess that's the part maybe people don't get.
Yeah, and then I think there's another component of like them not being able to help you causes them emotions.
Yeah. And then I feel
Which,
responsible for those emotions.
yeah. So now it's not safe to show this person this state because I have more responsibility. They just added more weights to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And also when I'm at 0, like, I don't even know what to, like, if even if someone asks, like, what do you need, I have no idea at that point.
Yeah.
Like,
Yes,
in a lot
that
of ways,
exists.
I don't know if there is anything they can do to help. Which is where, like, actually hanging out with a new person who doesn't even know I'm at 0 and we're just playing a game and, like, we don't really need to talk about anything. They're not even... it doesn't even cross their mind to check in with me because they don't know me. That kind of interaction actually feels easier than someone caring.
Yeah.
That feels like a need that I would like to know. If we become close and then you say, hey, what I need is you checking in on me. Because what happens is as we hang out, we'll start doing less of that. So I don't actually know how you're doing.
But the checking in on me makes it harder.
What harder?
So, if I'm at 0, people checking in on me actually makes it worse, or, like, makes it feel less safe because we might be going down the path of, like, okay, let me support you, and then I don't know how that will go.
What's the difference if we're not close, if we're new to each other?
New people won't even notice.
So that would be better?
Yeah. Because then I can still
Yeah,
have
because he doesn't need to
some...
take care of them.
Yeah. And I can have fun, I can
So-
have some social interactions, feel some connection, without taking any risks. And also, I have tried telling friends that, like, I don't even want to talk about what's going on, let's just hang out and play a video game. But, like, I can tell that they're still trying to help, or, like, it still feels weird.
Can you bring some more nuance into that? Like, because it sounds to me like there are two parts. Either they will push on and try to help, or they might accept that you don't want to talk about it, but then it feels weird.
Yeah.
So, hearing that from outside, I am interpreting that as I imagine it could feel like they are getting too close to comfort for you. Um, or and the second part is you would like them to get closer, but when they accept that you don't want to talk about it, it's like something is not met, like a need is not met in that situation.
I think it's that my needs are very different when I feel okay and when I've crashed. And I don't even know what they are or, like, how to navigate the version where I'm not very functional. And neither do they, which I think, like, makes sense and is valid, but also, like, then I don't know how to make those interactions work. Because they can tell that something's off. Like, they can see that I'm now acting weird and, like, different from before. So they want to... They will... Yeah, it makes sense that they then want to check in and, like, see what's going on, offer support. And, like, if I were doing a little bit better, that would have been nice. But at that point, even just checking in feels like too much sometimes.
Yeah, it feels like other people might feel that my emotions is too much.
Mm-hmm.
And at some point, I also feel like my emotions are too much. I don't
Yeah.
know if that resonates though.
Probably. I would also say, though, at that point, I'm probably avoiding my emotions a lot as well. So maybe part of the reason why I don't like people checking in is that, like, then I have to feel things. Yeah.
I don't know how to construct a sentence. So I guess I'm hearing that there's not really a solution to connect with people when you're feeling low, because like you don't also know how to do that.
The solution is to connect with strangers or acquaintances.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but then you would feel guilty. Because so I'm hearing like that solution to just continuously talk to new people. That sounds fine. But for you, that's not.
Mm, yeah, I mean, it feels unfair to, like, I guess become really close with someone and then I struggle for reasons that have absolutely nothing to do with them, and then I disappear and look for new people because we were too close. Like that, um, that feels really unfair to them because it's not actually about them. Like there's nothing.
Why would it have to be fair?
Mm, because it feels like I would be misleading them if like my intention were to just like become close with someone and then disappear and find another person. And also like I do see the value in having long-term friendships or like any kind of relationships. I just don't know how to actually navigate it in practice. Like, I just thought of a different way to describe it. Like, it also feels like I get over enthusiastic at first. And so we get like really close really fast, and then it's too much, and then I feel like I need to sort of um, pull back, compensate for that to some extent. And that's where people are disappointed because they're comfortable with like wherever it is. It's not too much for them. If anything, they would want more.
Yeah, I will inevitably disappoint.
Yeah.
And then I'll also inevitably feel really bad about it.
Yeah. So I have to either pace myself when I first meet people and like not show some of the excitement that I feel, or like not listen to it, to not set up those expectations, or it feels like it will become too much at some points.
I was trying to like understand because I think like yeah, you mentioned a lot of things like if this happened, then it would mean XYZ. Like it would mean you're not considerate or like you're misleading them. So a lot of meanings
Mm-hmm.
derived from this. And I'm trying to figure out like what does that mean? It now it feels like when you interact with people, your priority is to not be a bad friend, a bad person, a bad
Mm-hmm.
etc. And the yeah, like I don't know where the line is. It feels like you have to walk on eggshells or you're gonna be a bad person. Just gonna happen very quickly, very easily.
Yeah, it feels like if I'm not careful, then I'm like a very chaotic person to be around. Like very all or
which is
nothing.
okay.
How? People don't
It just
seem
I
to
want to
be
flip the
okay with that.
question. I want to flip the question of what makes it not okay to be chaotic and inconsistent.
Because people get annoyed.
I'm so wet.
Not people, I'm saying yourself. How would you view yourself if you're a chaotic and inconsistent person? And a bad person, I guess.
Mm. I think I would be okay with that if it were functional. It doesn't feel functional.
What makes it not functional?
People get annoyed with me, and that makes me feel a lot of guilt and shame. And I don't want to have to, well, sit with that or fix that.
Yeah, it's like other people's, like when the relationship becomes non functional, then you start to be non functional.
Yeah.
So if people get annoyed, then you're a bad person.
Um, Not necessarily, but I still have to, like, receive the annoyance and either, like, process it or we have to
Why do
talk
you have
about
to?
it. What are the... What else can I do?
Why am I, if I'm angry at you or annoyed at you, now you're processing my feelings for me
Oh, no,
or
but
talking about?
I will feel scared and guilty and ashamed. And those are the things I then have to process. And if you're a friend and you bring something up, like, hey, there's something that's not been working for me, can we talk about it? Like, I'm not gonna say no.
Even though you would be overwhelmed and maybe not have the energy at that specific time.
um, yeah, I don't know how to make that calculation of, like, do I have the energy for this or not? Because, like, technically I always do. I can always survive that conversation. I can probably get us to a place where, like, it feels resolved enough, which is a lot of work, and then I crash afterwards, but I can do it.
It's like what
Yeah.
Jake said, your tolerance is high. So then you're not okay, but you can survive. You said you can survive it. That's not optimal,
Yeah.
but you've never known otherwise.
Yeah, and I have no idea, like, where the line should be.
Guys, we're not talking about tolerance and energy, right? We're talking about your feelings and if you want to or not want to. Like, I can technically run a mile, right, down the streets to get in and out, but like, I don't want to. And it seems like the feeling of I don't want to is not being respected, like internally.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was thinking when you said I'm not going to like tell them no. I'm like, I think it'd be pretty funny. They're like, hey, can we talk about this really important thing? Nah, I'm good. I don't wanna. I'm good.
I'm confused. So, would any of you actually say no in that situation?
Yes.
I'm pretty sure I have before.
I would not, but I would phrase it another way if I don't have the energy. Like we can talk at another time.
So, how do you know if you have the energy or not?
You're not talking about having energy or not, Tom.
Yeah. Do you want to or not? Even if you have a lot of energy.
Well, usually I don't, but
Yeah.
that will make the relationship even more dysfunctional. Like, then there's a lot of sort of like quiet frustration.
Yeah. So are they making it dysfunctional or are you making it dysfunctional then?
I don't know because we haven't talked about it.
Yeah, because it seems like their frustration is like from you not providing. Then it doesn't sound like this the transaction has been talked about or has been agreed upon.
Mm.
Yeah. I feel like it's very unfair and convenient for other people to simply expect you to carry something and you would. I expect you to have this conversation with me and you would.
And if you don't, I'm gonna be a Karen and report to the manager and complain about it as well. And not
Um,
having like a civil conversation, right? Of like, hey, I think this is what I want. Is this something you can provide? Should I get somewhere else? Like, there's no civil conversation about it.
mhm. But I don't know. Like, maybe if we had that conversation, it would be fine. That's why it feels like I
Yeah,
shouldn't say no.
it sounds like it depends if the other person can shift and adjust their perception of you and accept you as like who you really are when they
Mm-hmm.
know you more.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wish you had more of a choice because right now your default, you have one choice to talk about it, just in case it would work out. But then there are people it wouldn't work out, but then you would take the hit
Mm.
because you can't say no.
Yeah, and like they can't accept the no either.
That I don't know because I haven't really tried. Well, I kind of tried with my ex, and there it kept coming up in different ways.
Yeah, I feel like you would probably subtly say no, or you would like hint at it. You're like, I don't feel like it today, or like, can we do it another day? Like just your lack of enthusiasm for the relationship, that is data.
Mm.
But it becomes a problem instead of a data.
I don't think I do the can we do it another day thing usually because, like, there's that thing of, like, oh, but technically I can talk about it. Like, I might say no. There were a few topics where. Actually, I think in that relationship I did eventually say, like, I need a break from talking about this because I'm so exhausted. Like, we can hang out and do other stuff, but, like, not go into this, and that worked for, like, half a day.
May I'll ask first, how's everybody feeling? And I'll add on to that, how do y'all feel about um like this thing that Tom is dealing with? Now that we like have a bunch of context, like just how do you feel hearing him talk about it? And I have something else after everybody answers.
I was gonna I was gonna ask Tom if because I feel like we've been touching on a lot of points. If any of those stand out to you, or like, how's this conversation going?
And that is also not a feeling.
I know. So that's out of the way, how I feel. Yeah, I feel frustrated for you that you can't say no. And I think I relate to you, and I keep saying like it's unfair and it's convenient for other people because I have heard other people tell me that enough times that now it starts to make sense why it's not on me. And that's very, like, yeah. How about you, Mars?
Yeah.
Yeah. Pam, you go.
March. Okay. I feel like I relate. And it makes me feel also frustrated on Tom's behalf, but at the same time also sad, I would say. Um for me in the situation trying to empathize, I would say it feels kind of hopeless and at the same time hopeful that even though it feels hopeless, I can hope to achieve something. I imagine the situation feels, I'm not sure it's a feeling, but it sounds really conflicted, like I guess confused and conflicted. Um, and I don't know how to describe the emotion, but I guess it's uncertainty. Like it's the uncertainty of not knowing what to do in a situation. Yeah. Mark?
Uh, I felt like it was very interesting because it was such a relatable like experience that I had in the past. I still suffer like certain parts of it. I think that's when back then I correlate love with caretaking, and it's very hard to separate the two. And there's also a lot of guilt for not being able to give love because love is exactly what I want to receive. And then I see other people needing loved, and like it just starts to be a codependency like cycle that I couldn't get out of. So I think I feel a lot of empathy for the situation as well. But yeah, how are you feeling, Tom?
Um, I'm surprised by the reactions, I think. Um, and also, I think it still feels like there's something there that I'm not understanding. It sort of feels like there's just like a missing puzzle piece or like a move that I need to learn and then it's gonna work. Um, but I have no idea what that is. So I think in that sense, like what Pam said fit really well, the sort of mix of like powerlessness, but also like it feels like there's a way forward. I just haven't solved the puzzle. Yeah.
I can try and give some perspectives or solutions from what I experience through empathy, but and then you can like say if it sounds way out of the way or it could be a possibility. Um, for me, I have learned sometimes when I get to a state where I am speaking with people and there is what's called a conflict of interests. What I am practicing is to try and discover and be curious about what I'm feeling. And then if I say, okay, I'm feeling sad, then I will try to stick to that feeling. Like if people were trying to help me and it seems like they don't get that I'm feeling sad, then instead of trying to take responsibility or try to help them to understand what I'm feeling, then just it's like practicing acknowledging that no matter what is happening around me, I can acknowledge that I'm feeling sad. Like,
But then what makes
somehow
it
practice. Hmm?
worth being around people if they don't get it?
Um, I would say it's two different topics, but to answer, it would be that different people and people can provide different needs. So maybe a person that is not able to meet me emotionally when I'm feeling sad, I can have a ton of fun with them. So that would be a friend I would hang out with, having fun. And then I would know maybe they are not great at comforting me. So if I need comfort, I would find a comfort friend.
Okay, I just realized something. Um,
Hmm?
I think part of the problem is that, like, that whole thing about getting really close pretty fast, that's because a lot of my conversations with people would be, like, in the support or, like, coaching bucket. And that's, like, the main activity we've got a lot of the time. Something around that. And so then when I hit that point where it's like, actually, I don't want support right now, we have no other moves or, like, things to do. That's the default. Like, that's what the relationships are about. So then it makes sense that I wouldn't want to show up. And it's easier to show up with someone where, like, the point is to watch a film or play a game. Because, like, with these
Yeah.
friends, even if we show up to play a game, we will end up talking about, like, going into support mode.
Yeah. But when I was talking about love equals caretaking, I omitted certain parts because I didn't want to say it specifically. Because it's an insight that you need to arrive to, in my opinion. Uh, the relationship started off with using support as unconsciously as a bargaining chip to get close to that person.
Mm-hmm.
Like, this is how I give love, and this is how I'm going to receive love if I caretake.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like a condition that probably, family upbringing and whatnot. And the moment like you don't give, that means like you don't love. It means like there's just like a lot of meaning to it instead of just one of the aspect of the relationship in itself. But that's just how I see it as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I think that also explains the part that I mentioned last week and at the start today, where sometimes I notice another pattern where people who aren't available in this way, where, like, I would be more interested in spending time with someone, or, like, there's a stronger pull where if I'm not allowed to support them for whatever reason because of, like, what our roles are or something like that, that's
I'm not sure I follow.
which part?
Can you
Oh.
maybe repeat just
Okay.
everything you said?
Yeah. So, like, sometimes there are people where I'm not allowed to support them for whatever reasons. And in those relationships, I notice that sometimes I feel a much stronger pull to, like, want to be friends, want to hang out, than with people who are available where I do support. And I think so, Mars, what you said also explains this. Because in those relationships, I'm not allowed to do that work. So, like, that expectation doesn't even have a chance to develop.
Yes, like people who need support, I can provide to them, then I am needed in this relationship, which feels good initially, but then it kind of becomes too much then because of consistent expectations, right?
Yeah.
But if the person is not asking for support and just wants my company, not because of what I do, then it's seen in a very different light.
Yeah. Although paradoxically, some relationships where it's kind of imbalanced the other way, where I'm sort of just providing support, not getting anything back, or not getting support back, I get other things back potentially. Those can also feel good when I'm really struggling because I feel confident that like it's not going to be about me having to be supported. So I can still show up and support a lot of the time. But that's still
It feels like you being present in the friendship or relationship, just you like trouble.
I guess, yeah. Yeah, and it also feels like there's a quota on that.
Yeah, because you have a quota on it for other people.
Yeah. Although it feels like their quota is going to be much tighter than mine. Like I have to be really careful with when I choose to accept support because it's very limited. Like even showing up somewhere for a few weeks in a row where I'm like, "Oh, I had a really crap week." After a few weeks, even just saying acknowledging that feels like it's too much. Like burdening them with the knowledge that I'm not doing great for a few weeks in a row.
What makes it too much again? To say like I have been having crappy weeks.
Because then they know and then they worry.
Right, and you made them worry.
Yeah, and then I don't let them do anything about it.
It's interesting that something out of your control is your responsibility.
Like their feelings.
Them being able to help you. Like, you can't control if they help you or not. You can't
Yeah.
control, like, if you feel helped, if you feel lighter, if you feel connection and all that stuff. But it's your responsibility.
But I can make sure that they can't help. That is within my control, and that's the thing I often do. Like if I tell them I'm not doing great and then they try to help and I don't even let them try, that is within my control.
But when they try, it doesn't work out. I think that's kind of the cycle itself, no?
Yeah, it depends. It's a risk. Like I've had experiences where it did work out. But yeah, it's risky, and the worse I'm doing, the bigger the risk is.
Yeah, and the bigger the risk is when you talk about it, the more you worry that this conversation is not going to work out, which then adds even more size to the emotion to the other person as well and to yourself too.
Yeah.
The bigger problems you need support with, the more likely, the bigger they will fail to support you, which will make you more guilty for letting this happen.
Yeah.
Have you
Yeah.
experienced that if you try to seek support? Um, like when it happens, that you feel or like have thoughts about what could help. Like for example, if I went to a friend and wanted to feel like if I needed to vent to a person and I came up to them saying, "Hey, I'm not feeling so well," then, for example, I would wish for them to ask me. Like, I would wish for them to, "Oh, I'm hearing you're not feeling so well. Would you like to talk about it?" That could be an expectation I would have towards them.
Mm-hmm.
Is that happening for you as well? Or yeah.
Yeah, it's just that it feels like most people don't have the skills or capacity for that with what I actually dump on them if like we do go ahead with that conversation. Because one of the things I need is like I really need people to not try to fix me or like not try to make me feel better, and most people have a really hard time with that, just kind of like staying with the mess. Like that's all I really actually need. But even if I explicitly like tell people that this is what I need them to do, or like how, most people can't do it in my experience.
How would you describe that act? Or like how that looks like?
Um, Even literally just asking questions and like using reflective listening is plenty. As long as the questions aren't like trying to lead me towards like there's a way to ask questions where it's still trying to like fix someone's feelings.
Hmm.
Like,
Hmm.
have you thought about this? Or like, for example,
Hmm.
or like, why not look at
And
it
then I
in this
can,
way?
yeah.
I have a question, and then I want to do a check-in or like a any lingering thoughts about this, and then a check-in about the session. Cool. Tom, if you this is more for like audience stuff in chat. If you had a friend like you, how would you support them?
Um, I think I have very different answers depending on the situation and like just how much I'm actually stuck or like struggling with something. Um, I think usually, um, I would mainly try to be curious more than anything. Like, actually try to understand what things are like. And I think, like, that in itself in most situations is enough.
Okay. So you would have them talk about the stuff, and you would just try to be like empathic and curious.
Curious more than empathic. Empathy is too much, like, that shuts down. Or, like, that puts up walls.
Okay.
Yeah, so, yeah, I would just try to be curious, try to understand. I would also give lots of choices in the conversation. Like, maybe. And in a practical sense, I think if I'm really, really stuck, or like if they were really, really stuck, but I don't know if I would actually be able to do this. But I would if they wanted help with like getting started or getting things done, like actually helping with like executive functioning and like breaking things down into very, very small tasks for them, and basically like taking off that load of like what are the steps
Yeah.
to get through the day, and just getting them like I've actually used ChatGPT for this, where I would tell it like what I need to do in the day and asked it to just give me like one step at a time and not tell me what the next thing is going to be, because like anything more than that would feel overwhelming. So I would like get 5 minutes of work at a time. Something like that could also be quite helpful.
Does anyone else want to respond to that question?
What question?
How would you support a friend like Tom, essentially? I know some of you are friends with Tom, so that's why I asked Tom specifically.
I have one more. Also, sometimes I think I would just suggest to do something that has nothing to do with what's going on, just to like hang out and explain the, or like give that as an option, but then actually like not care about how that person's feeling and just show up for whatever the activity is. So it's not like a sneaky way to get in and then try to go towards support, but yeah.
I would like to answer the question. For me, I think, say and text a lot, saying that if anything he would like to talk about, he could always write or make a call. But I wouldn't say, hey, let's talk about this. I could say, hey, it seems like you're down at the moment. If you ever would like to if you ever would like to talk about it, I'm here and you can always reach out. Like that would be the statement I would try to install in Tom's brain, to be like, okay, so if sometimes he feels down, that thought might pop into his mind saying, hey, Pam said I could talk to her if I felt like it. And then I would wait for Tom to reach out himself. And then like sprinkle out initiative to tell him that he could. And then, as he said, ask questions and reflective listening.
My answer is weird. Also downsides. Yeah, I would try those, but usually my goal is to figure out what works for that specific friend. So, Tom, as you were talking, I made notes. So I know. Yeah. I just had a weird thought as well. Like when I catch up with friends, my need is to know like what's been happening with them. So I can just imagine this is how they've been existing. But then if they share something that's going on, all of a sudden I feel like if I don't try to help, it means I'm not a good friend. Yeah.
For me, all of my friends are like this, and I treat them like cats. They would come by if they want to. If they don't want to, to me, currently my emotion is too permeable. Like it goes through to the other person way too much. So then any of my needs and my desire, just like what Anna was saying, wanting to be a good friend or wanting to be a good partner, whatever, would be like it would they would feel it. And that would be like adding onto their burden. So then to me, I think what I usually would do is let them make the choice and they can have the freedom to seek out to me if they want to. And I trust that one day they would. And even if they don't, that just means they didn't want to. And that's fine by me because what they want is more important than what I want from them.
Cool. We are a bit over in time, but I would. If anyone has to go, let me know. But does anyone have anything about the conversation they wanted to say? And then we'll do checkouts.
I wrote down. Oh, I was thinking, Tom, for how much you're not feeling your own feelings, you care a lot about other people's feelings. That's it.
I had a thought popping up because for me it's helpful to sometimes when I have a hard time feeling my own feelings and not getting the specific support that I am craving, like the I want you to say it in this way, in that tone, like this. I have tried to have a conversation with myself through text. So it's like, hey, so how's it going? And then I'll answer myself through that text. So I have that inner dialogue. And to me, it sounds weird, but it does help because then I'm supporting myself and somehow getting clear of where I'm feeling and where I'm at. So if that's something you'd like to try, I would recommend that.
Anything from you, Marcin?
No, I think I said what I needed to say, but thanks for checking in.
Cool. I had like 3 things, I think. It feels like there's a lot of blame towards you, Tom. I don't know if it's coming from external or internal. That's one thing. Thing 2 was it's really easy. It sounds really easy for you to be misunderstood in conversation, which makes speaking really, really difficult. Then the last thing was it feels really it's how do I word that? It feels like no matter what you do, you feel violated. Either you're violating your own boundaries or this person's like pushing them. And yeah, it feels like a very like hollow powerlessness because like I have no control here, and no matter what I do, I just feel really like icky in the relationship. Those are the things I had. Cool. How's everybody feeling? How'd the session go for everybody?
I like the conversation. I feel like it's kind of reorienting me back to how I want to be with people. Because yeah, my default is I try to fill a role, find a role, and fill it, and the easiest is to help. But I've been trying here and there to just be there, to hang out. And so this kind of reconfirms that that's probably the most neutral thing, positive thing I can do.
I'll go next. I thought the conversation was was good. It was not well. I thought the conversation was good. It felt like everyone was empathizing towards Tom. and it felt like just a warm conversation. Yeah, and I feel a lot of empathy towards Tom's situation because I think it's really hard when you need help, but you can't rely on the people that you know. Like, yeah, it just feels really sad and lonely. I like the conversation though.
Do you want to go first? And then I can go, and then we can leave Tom to be the dead last.
Okay. I am not sure how for me, I think I had a hard time. Like, I felt emotions were missing. As I at times was thinking that a lot of intellectualization was happening, but at the same time, it felt like we came around a lot of different topics, and it seemed like there were some insights and talking around and just the comfort of the group. So that went fine, I think. But I'm also uncertain because I am not sure how Tom thinks about it, and that for me makes it uncertain for me to tell me if it went well. And it is not to put pressure on Tom. That's how my thinking works. Yes, thank you. And Mark?
I'm tired of standing. That's the first one. I think the conversation well, for me, I can only speak for myself, right? I felt like it was an interesting conversation. It's a topic that not a lot of people talk about because the focus usually is on like the anxious people more than the people who tries to do their best in a relationship and feeling like they are not doing enough. So I really like having those conversations as well. And yeah, it just reaffirmed certain things that I know about myself and also what I want to do for other people, just like what Anna was saying. But yeah, that's it from me. I guess I'll give the spotlight to you, Tom.
Yeah, for me, I'm really happy we had this conversation and also that it's recorded because I had so many thoughts throughout, and like, I think we discovered a lot of new things or like new perspectives that I hadn't actually considered before. And I wouldn't be able to list them now, so that's why I'm so glad I have the recording because I can actually rewatch it and like take notes and break it down. Yeah, it feels like it was really useful in a lot of different ways that I wouldn't be able to name right now. But yeah.
Noise.
How about you, Jake?
I already went. I was second because no one else was speaking.
Oh, yeah, right. Whoopsie.
Cool. Well, I guess that's the session and whatnot. Fox God, are there any chatters chatting, questions questioning?
So much text. Jake, last time I think you read. You were able to read?
I can't right now. You'll have to be my translator.
Okay, for Tom, it makes a lot of sense to me that other people's feelings can feel like they are your responsibility. Other people's feelings affect how they interact with you. If you are sad, then they want to talk about this. If you talk about this, then people will feel bad. If people feel bad for you, they want to help you. And then if they want to help you, you end up getting hurt or feeling worse. So therefore, the goal is to prevent people from helping you. while still wanting to talk about your bad feelings. So you have to control how other people feel in order to get the safe environment to start unwinding your negative feelings, which feels impossible. The only way then is to have a non-empathetic environment where helping you is not the resolution, but understanding and exploring is. Is this accurate?
Yes, 100%.
Very suspicious feeling on who this is, but continue.
That's a question.
That's it. Nothing else.
Yep.
Red.
So
Cool.
how are Tom feeling hearing that?
What a good summary. Yeah. Yeah, I think that's exactly the calculation that's going on.
Cool. Any final stuff from anybody? Rad. Well, that's it. That's it, chat. Say bye to chat, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you for watching. Again, if you'd like to join a support group similar to this, you can join us through our website, questoflife.org. And if you'd like to support us with our mission, please consider donating and or volunteering. You can also do that via our website so that we can run more free groups for more people. Thanks.